Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. Well, we've got another cajon. This one is made by Granite Percussion, and it is called the CAJON1. There's also a Cajon 2 and a Cajon 3. And there are definitely differences in materials that they're made out of, etc. We have mine over here, this one I own. And I thought I'd rent a few of these and do some reviews for you guys. I was actually surprised that Long McQuaid had a video on this, although they were talking about a bunch of their stuff, and the guy just played like a little tiny thing on this, and it's like, I'm looking for the cajon, I'm not looking for all the stuff they do from Granite Percussion, right? And so I was thoroughly disappointed at that video, so because it was like the only one. And I'm like, all right, well, good thing I rented these things so that you guys can get to know what's going on too. So all the specs are in the description below, so do check that out, as well as the Long McQuaid website. This one's a little bit different, obviously, than mine. It's a little bit more basic look, I guess you could say, or I don't know, maybe it's a traditional look. I don't know that much about cajons. I'm just learning myself. However, it does come with this stick-on pad for your butt so that it's a little more comfy to sit there longer. And they do say in the write-up, and this is what I want to point out, that it has 3 adjustable snare spring positions. There are only 2, okay? They do have the Cajon 2 and the Cajon 3. They have listings up there. I don't know. I haven't seen the insides of that one. I have looked inside this, and I've also even checked out the positions of the snare that's inside the snare spring, and there are 2 positions, not 3. And I didn't find a ton of difference between having it on the bottom and having it where they had it, which is basically in the middle kind of thing as far as sound went. Didn't see a whole lot of difference. There is a little piece of foam too underneath the snare springs. Try taking that out just for a second, just to see, is there a difference? And it actually sounded, honestly, worse. So leave that foam in there. It's probably more of a dampener so it doesn't go too mental on you. But anyways, let's check this thing out, shall we? So, like I said, I'm new into cajons, and I'm learning myself. And I'm actually using a Beat Buddy pedal because it has, perfect drum beats, perfect timing. And I can play along with it and learn different beats to do on this thing, and different positions as well for where you hit it. Watching some instructional videos, at least with YouTube, when it comes to learning an instrument, this is probably one where an instructional video would actually be a good one. It's not like you can go wrong like with guitar. You can pick up so many bad habits and problems. It's kind of a no-brainer thing. So if you're thinking about getting into a percussion instrument like the cajon, well, there's definitely a lot of good videos up there for you. Anyways, so as per usual, cupping your hand helps with your bass, right? I tend to have my fingers probably around here to help dampen if I want more bass. Okay, so that's the sound you're going to get as basically, I guess, a factory setup, the way they have that snare spring in there. Let's change that spring around. It's really easy to change the position. You just put your hand in the back here in the big, huge hole. That's another different thing. Mine has a ported tubing system, so definitely different. So we just lift up inside, and we just move it down to the bottom here. That's it. We're done. That easy. Like I said, they said 3 positions, and there's only 2 in there. So, all right, let's see what's changed. You know what? That actually, to be honest, sounds better. Down on the bottom with that spring. Now mine has 2 fixed springs in it, which is completely different. This only has just the one. This might actually benefit, I think, if you wanted to either build one or get a replacement spare and have 2 in here. That might actually make an even different sound for you, or better sound, or improvement of some sort. So let's check mine out for a quick second too. Give a little bit of a fast comparison, you know. So mine, like I said, I got this tubed ported enclosure, a little bit different. Okay, so let's take a little listen and we'll compare. Mine never thump. I like mine way better. Anyways, so just a little bit about the price though. This does come with a gig bag. Mine does not. This comes with the foam. Mine does not. I like mine. I think it's really sick looking. Okay, but it also has a really nicer sound to me. And of course that already has 2 springs that are fixed in it. You can't move them around. That was $129 Canadian. This is $189. Okay. So it's kind of like, well, and the body on this is what they call MDF. It does have a wood faceplate, okay, but the main body is MDF. This thing is all plywood construction, and I think they call this beech wood or something. Anyways, it's in the description what kind of wood is on the front, but the main body on this is all plywood. So, and of course, different porting. Has 1 spring, but it is movable at least, you know, so that's kind of a nice little benefit there. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad sound, it's just not my taste. This was more my taste, okay? But there are lots of cajones. Now, my recommendation to you fine folk is simply this. If you're out shopping for a cajon, whatever is on the floor in the store, try them all out, okay? If there's something else on the website that might not be out on the floor, they may have one in the back, ask them to let you try them out too. Because, I mean, when you're talking about purchasing an instrument, you have to know. You know what I mean? And I'm sure they'll accommodate without a problem. The other thing you could do is, you know, you could rent a bunch of these things. Most of these are like $5 a week for a rental. So I rented 2 of these different cajones for the week, right? This way I don't have to make so many trips back and forth to town. But currently they only had the 2 in stock for me to rent at $5 a week. There was another one, I think it was about $9 a week for the other one. I may check that one out for you guys as well in the next little bit, but not before the end of the month, that's for sure. You know, it's kind of like, well, I like that spring down below better. Let's move it back up for one more quick sample, and then I think we're pretty much done. That easy to change it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I am going to be fair, okay? I'm not going to be picking on this because I like mine so much better. I'm just going to be fair as to what I think this is. I like the fact that you can adjust the springs. that's kind of a nice bonus because it does give you some extra tonal possibilities, right? If you wanted to, you could order in more than likely a new unit for the spring and just have 2 of them in there, which is also a nice little benefit. It's your option to remove the sponge or not. It depends if you like to sound better with it or without it. Entirely up to you. I say leave it in there because you don't want too much of that snare in there either, so it kind of acts like a bit of a dampener, right? It definitely doesn't have 3 positions like the write-up says, so not sure what's going on there other than a misprint. I would think in all fairness, it does come with a gig bag. Comes with this stick-on foam. It is option to stick this on, by the way. You don't have to put it on there. They just did, and whatever. Okay, it's there, and it's actually a little bit more comfy, you know, in the long haul. You know, you're getting the gig bag, you're getting the foam, you're getting the adjustability for more options for tones, even though there's only 1 spring in here. Like I said, order another one, and then you can play around with it. Because different types of music, you may want to remove one of those springs or just, you know, have both in there, you know, because it may give you some better options that way too. Mine already has 2 fixed springs that are not movable, but it does have killer bass, you know, type of thing. And I do like how much of the, you know, kind of snare sound it has. So, but just in keeping with this thing, I would have to say for what you're getting for the money, you know, it's nice because just a gig bag alone can cost you about $90. So it's kind of like, well, how much would a sticky foam cost me? I have no idea. But they do come from music stores when they have them, so you never know. I think for what we're getting in the package, it is a decent little machine. You know, so I don't know. I would say I want to be really fair about it too, because, you know, I think we could go a solid 4 out of 5. You know, disappointed that the write-up actually is wrong. You know, that's a little bit going against more, I guess, the company than it is the item. But they could have probably done a little bit better job on how much bass you really get, because you get a lot of that snare there, right? So unless you're going to dampen it, you know, it's kind of like, you go down, the snare is actually about here, right? So it doesn't put out, I think, a lot of bass, right? It's kind of minimal that way. But yeah, I would say 4 out of 5, you know. I mean, it's well priced considering you are getting the extras. You do have the capabilities for swapping positions, you know, that sort of thing. So, I mean, for that, I think we're okay on that. So the price is pretty decent. You do have the gig bag with it. It's not a classy gig bag by any means, but it's still a good gig bag to haul the thing around and keep it safe for transport, which is the main thing. If you want a better quality gig bag, spend $90. Entirely up to you. So yeah, I kind of think, yeah, I think we're good at about 4 out of 5 on this one. Anyways, let me know what you guys saw in the comment below, and we did have to do a little bit of a comparison just to give you an idea, because I had mentioned before, even in my video for mine, that, you know, they're all different. You know, you're going to have different sounds and different capabilities, etc., etc. So if you like it, then you buy it. If you're really not sure, you check out more of them. You know, that's the thing. You've got to really choose it. It's a hard thing when it comes to instruments sometimes, right? It's kind of like some people just like, oh, that's a cheap price. That's really expensive. I can afford that. I can't afford this. You know, or maybe I got to wait an extra week or something, you know what I mean? So some people do, you know, the buys that they probably shouldn't have done. I would say if you're a little short on cash, wait till next paycheck, put in the rest, and then just buy the one that you want, you know, because it's better to be happy than to be miserable, that's for sure, or making a bad purchase, you know. So that's kind of how I look at it that way, you know. But yeah, I think overall it's a pretty decent instrument, but it's not for me, that's for sure, you know, but it may be for you. Anyways, again, in the comments below, let me know what you think. Video description, link for Lonnie McQuaid's website, and I will put the specs as well in theirs too. So if you are interested, away you go. And we'll see you on the next one. Ciao.